Hello again, everyone. I am back with another haul video. Oop. I bought, for the first time, from Menagerie Cosmetics. Here's the box. It says, "Please handle with care. Fragile. Do not drop. Thank you." I've never bought from Menagerie before, but I've heard some great things from them. I follow a lot of YouTubers that are smaller, and they all sing the praises of Menagerie. There's just a lot of things that Menagerie has released that I really enjoyed, so I decided to make a purchase from them, and it came this week, and I'm super excited. Processing and shipping was a little bit longer than the other brands I have bought from, but it definitely is not to the length of Cleona Cosmetics, y'all. Like, that was the longest processing time of my life. But Menagerie's is also a little bit on the longer side, just so you're aware. But it wasn't too bad, honestly, especially since it's my first time buying from them, so. Yeah, otherwise it shipped, after it processed, shipped pretty quickly, and yeah. There's been a lot of things that Menagerie has released that I wanted. I wanted the Pharaoh palette, I wanted the Dragon Child palette, I wanted the Whale Song palette, and I wanted the Violet Ink palette, but from each of those palettes, there were a bunch of shades I wouldn't actually use. Like, I wanted, like, half of each of those palettes. But the other half I wouldn't get use out of, so I didn't want to buy a whole palette and only use some of the shades. So I decided to buy a bunch of singles. And this is what she looks like. Has some green paper, has some bubble wrap. Each single, I believe, is $5, but if you buy, I think is it over like 14? If you buy 14 and over, I think, singles, then it drops the price down to $3.25. So if you are thinking of buying, if you like a lot of the palettes, but you don't think you're gonna get, if you don't think you're gonna get a lot of use out of the whole palette together, I would definitely recommend buying the singles you like from those palettes, because you're paying for the shades that you'll actually use as opposed to getting a cheaper price but not using like half the palette. That's how I saw it. Like with the Pharaoh palette, there was like 6 maybe shades I wasn't gonna really use, so I decided against it. So I bought bought a lot. I bought like 21. I bought 21. So I bought singles that I liked from the Dragon Child palette. I bought singles from the Pharaoh palette I liked. I bought some singles from the Whale Song. Not too many though. I think I only bought like 2 maybe from the Whale Song palette. And then I bought some from the Violet Ink one, because that, I love purples, but I didn't need, 2 of the shades were very similar to each other, I think, in that palette, and then I wasn't going to really use those shimmers. So here we are. I'm super excited. I tried to get a range of colors. I typically go for like pinks, reds, oranges, and purples, but I wanted to kind of venture out of my comfort zone a little bit, and I bought a lot of like greens and blues as well, just because I need to like break out. I mean, I'm wearing green and purple today, but I really want to kind of, and my hair is green. But for makeup wise, I typically don't wear blues and greens a lot, but I decided, break out of that comfort zone, Amina. You can do it. So I bought a ton. So let's get into it. I got a fair share of mattes and shimmers, blues and greens, and pinks and such. So I will start with, are these the shimmers? Are these all my shimmers? Oopsies. Oops, mostly all shimmers. I'll start with the shimmers first. I did swatch a few of these when I first got it because I couldn't help it. I believe I swatched 6. I swatched 3 shimmers and 3 mattes. So, of the ones I've swatched, I really like them so far. I think they're really pretty, and I kind of want to swatch all of them. And I will swatch all of them and include them in this video at the end. So I'll just start with all of the shimmers. I really like the envelope here. It feels very like luxe, deluxe, rich. Like it's really nice kind of envelope here. I'll just start with this shade. It's the first one I pulled. The only thing is it's a little difficult to get them out, but otherwise they are really like quality. Here's like what it looks like on the inside, and it is glued down, and then I believe it also has a magnetic backing as well. Yeah, like this in itself is a magnet, but then there's like a little glue. Boop. The shade is in Besties. Once again, it's not going to be the greatest lighting here, but I will definitely show all of these swatches so you guys can see them. Let's see. Yep, this is magnetic as well. I took off the little gooey bit. So it has a little magnetic panel glued down. No. So this is definitely like a pinky, rosy kind of copper shade, and it has a really nice like greeny gold kind of shift to it. It is stunning. I don't even have to keep the little gooey bits on there anymore because I don't need to. The next shade is Pack Leader, which is from the Feral palette. Oopsies. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Okay, some of it was on the thing. And it is a beautiful, like, more of a ruddy copper, and it also has a gold shift to it. It is really pretty. I would say it's very similar to Besties, but definitely more reddish. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Like, these are the kinds of shades I, like, typically go for. It's, like, warm, toned, shimmery, pinky reds, coppery colors. The shade is Lily. It is a just nice kind of bubblegummy pink shimmer, which I think also has a gold shift to it. They all have gold shifts. It's really pretty. It's a really classic kind of bubblegum kind of pink shimmer. This one is Plume. Which is also like a coppery, like, this one is very similar to Besties, except this one is a little more coppery while this one's a little more like rosy. And it has that really strong gold, the tinge of green shift to it. It's real pretty. These are all really pretty, I'll be honest with you. I'm not really sure how you say it. Is it Huechera? 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 I'm not sure. And this is just a really pretty green with some gold shimmer in it. It's not a shift, it's just a true plain like shimmer shade. It's really pretty. It's like a mid-tone green, I would say. It's very golden. Holy crap, I have so much like shimmery like stuff on my fingers now just from opening those. Can't really complain because it's really pretty. But it's gonna get everywhere. The next shade I have is Glacier. It's a teal blue shimmer. It's a little bit, maybe not too warm. It looks a little bit like there might be some goldage, like a warm silver kind of shimmer going through it. I don't know what I'm talking about now. So like a lot of the warmer shades were more duochrome-y, with a lot of them having golden shifts to it, while these cooler tone shades are more just a true shimmer with, they are what they look like kind of a thing. Like, doesn't matter the angle, like it's gonna look the same in whatever angle, while like the warmer shades look like coppery here, but then they have a really strong gold shift when you bring them up to different angles. The last shimmer is this one, which I'm super excited about. It's in the shade Fluke. And this is very similar to the shade Tracery from Cleona, but without the shift. This is just a classic kind of minty shimmer. While, like, I believe it's Tracery. No, it's not. I lied. It's Ripple. Tracery's purple. Cleona's Ripple is the same base color, like it's that minty kind of teal blue color, but Ripple is like with a pink purple shift, while this one is just a true minty shimmer, and it is really pretty. Okay, now we are going to go on to the mattes, which there's a lot. I'll start with, I kind of want to do it by color family. That makes sense to anybody else but me. I definitely bought the most greens out of everything, so I'll save the greens for last and I'll kind of go by individuals. But this one is actually like an older packaging, by the way. Let's see how much slimmer that is compared to like this one. It's definitely a different packaging. Anyways, this is a yellow, obviously. And like even this part is a little bit older, and it doesn't have like a magnetized base. And this one is in the shade Night Eyes. I did swatch this one, and I'm kind of concerned it's not going to show up on me. I keep trying yellows because I am on the hunt for yellows, because a lot of people do beautiful yellow looks, and yellow looks good on me as like clothing and such, but I can't find. No, I have one perfect yellow, and that is in a Juvia's palette. But I want like a perfect yellow that I don't have to like lug a whole palette with if I don't want the whole palette. This, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's gonna show up. I swatched it and it kind of shows up, kind of doesn't. It kind of blends into my skin. The struggle of having kind of a yellow toned skin. Yellows are just not easy to find that will work on me, that doesn't just go into my skin tone. 'Tis a true struggle, especially since it's like a mid-tone yellow. I'm kind of like, I'm pale. I would consider myself pale, but I've been trying to find a really good yellow. I think this can work, but it's gonna need some building, and it's probably gonna need a light base. But it feels really nice. That's the thing though. All of their mattes feel really nice. I'll go into the more like reddish pinky shades, my comfort zone. Because I love these shades. These are like my bread and butter kind of thing. This shade is Wisteria. Wisteria, I was right. I feel like it's kind of an interesting color because Wisteria I usually associate with like purples, so the fact that this is kind of a corally color is pretty nice. Oh, it's so pretty. Mariposa. This is just a true like red. Well, it kind of looks like maybe with a tiny bit of like orange. So it might be more of a deep coral. But I think it's definitely more just like a true red. I'm not positive though. It looks like it could be a true red, but I feel like there's just like a tiny bit of orange in there. I'm gonna overanalyze this crap. Onto the true blues here. This one I know for sure is Blue Tang, so I'm not gonna struggle with taking it off of the. Wait, is it Blue Tang? I don't know. Yeah, this one is for sure Blue Tang. So I'm not even gonna bother taking it off of the thing. It's just a true matte blue. I would consider it kind of a mid-tone. A light mid-tone maybe. Kind of a dusty blue. Dusty mid-tone blue. I'm just throwing words together now. You're annoying. Okay. I'm super excited about is a pastel blue because I can't get enough of those. And this one is, yep, Dragon Rider. I'll just show it like this. It is a beautiful pastel blue. Wow, that worked really well. I do like me a pastel. I have a few pastels. Like this green is a pastel green. I have the Shroud Cosmetics. Which, okay, I'm sorry, an aside.
Why are so many YouTubers having an issue pronouncing Shroud? Like every single YouTuber that I've watched is like, Shroud is changing their name too, and then they can't say Shroud. Maybe I read obscure things, so I know how to pronounce weird words like that. Maybe it's more of like fantasy readers kind of. I don't really read that much fantasy. Like I knew it was Shroud. Maybe because I'm a Dark Soul person. But a lot of YouTubers are having issues with saying the word Shroud. I don't know. Anywho.
I have a lot of pastels because I really like that creepy cute palette. Like this green is really cool. I really like the pastel blue in that. So I want to see if this kind of compares to that blue in there. I believe it's Cold Shoulder. Is that the one? I really want to compare it and see how this goes. I think there's one more shade too that I want to compare that I bought that I want to see. Maybe I lied to myself. I played myself like every day. But I really want to definitely compare the pastels from Menagerie to those pastels, because those are pastels from Shroud is the first pastels I've ever tried, and I really like them, and they're just really quality pastels. So I want to see. I want to kind of do a little comparison. Anyways, next on to like our purpley shades. Which at first I didn't think this shade was purple. I thought this was more like a cornflower blue. I believe this is from the Violet Ink palette. Yeah, this is Jellyfish. So I would consider this a cornflower blue. But this was in the Violet Ink palette, so it's purple, purpley. I think a cornflower blue is a blue that just leans very purple. It looks kind of like a pastel purple, but it looks very cool toned, like a cornflower. It looks like a cornflower blue with maybe a little bit more purple. I think that's accurate. It's a cornflower blue with a little more purple. It doesn't really look like because it's a cool toned purple, but it definitely has a lot of cool tone in it. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. Okay, the picture. My mind. What is my life? There's this beautiful, beautiful purple. Okay, it looks far more blue and washed out. Purples are notorious for not coming on camera and screen appropriately. Allium. Oh no, I dumped my whole finger in it. Oopsies, she kind of cracked a little. Might be. Oh, she's so pretty. It's a little more pastel than I thought it would be. Like on the swatches on their website, it looked like a really vibrant purple, but on me it looks a little bit more pastel. Anyway, she's beautiful. It definitely looks almost exactly like Jellyfish on this screen here. But trust me, it is a warmer purple, but it is definitely more of a pastel purple. I would say this is definitely more pastel than I thought it was going to be. So then take Menagerie swatches and pictures with a grain of salt, because that is definitely more pastel, on me at least. Maybe if you're lighter than me, it'll come off more vibrant, but that is... will you be able to tell? Can you see that it's definitely more like pastel-y? It's a weird place to put it, but it's definitely more pastel on me. Anyways, last purple. Iron Grip. I need that one. This is a cooler toned purple. It's also like a mid-tone. Once again, they all look the same on this camera. What the heck? But trust me, this is purple. It just doesn't look like it. This is... I would say it looks very similar to Allium. Like, they're similar in tonal range, but they are different in, like, warmth and coolness. Allium is definitely more warm, while Iron Grip is definitely more cool. This is like a cooler, more dusty purple, while this is a warmer, just warmer. So, I would say they look very similar. I can't. I'm gonna die if I don't do it. They feel really nice. Oh yeah. You can see that. It looks different. Yeah. They are very similar. I'm going to say that they look very, very similar. But Iron Grip is more... Okay, they both kind of look like Laffy Taffy. I was going to say one looks more like Laffy Taffy than the other. They both look like Laffy Taffy. Iron Grip is definitely more cool toned, more gray, if you will, while Allium is definitely more pastel-y, warm pastel-y kind of color. Now I have crap. This is a true teal matte. I'm going to try to pick up the pace a little bit. And this one is Harmonium. It seemed more pastel. No, maybe not. It seemed more bright. Oh god. Taking them off of this and then slapping them back on makes them crack. Just by the by. Oopsies. So I'm guessing these are kind of soft. Oh, she's so pretty though. Okay. It's Harmonium. Be careful when you try to take these off, because apparently the mattes are a little bit cracky. A little soft, so they crack a little bit. That one is definitely a teal, a pure teal. Next. Now for the true greens here. This one I know is, because I was a little disappointed how it looks. This is the shade Electric, which I thought would be more like my hair color, but it's actually a brighter green. It's less, my hair is very chartreusey and very like lime. Well, this is more green, if that makes sense. I kind of want to... I did dip my finger in this already. I know that's a Amy Loves Makeup. Is that it? Yeah. She talked about getting this and she was expecting it to be different as well. And I was kind of expecting it to be different too. I thought this would be more like the Chartreuse in the Urban Decay Electric palette, and also in the NYX Ultimate Brights palette, I believe. But this one is definitely a little more green than it is yellow. It's more like a bright grassy green as opposed to a chartreusey kind of color. But I got this mainly for my eyebrows, because I think it'll still work really well on my eyebrows. But because I didn't want to have to take the whole Urban Decay Electric palette with me when I travel, while I still have green hair. So, because I am going on a trip in a couple weeks, and I don't want to bring that whole palette just for one shade for my eyebrows. That's ridiculous. So, it is really pretty though, and it is really like, soft and nice. It will need a little bit of building, but all shades like that kind of chartreusey kind of green definitely need building. Next, okay, these two shades are kind of similar, and these two shades are kind of similar. So, oh, look at this. This one's a little more pastel, I think, though. Dragon Child. And it is a cool toned green, a little bit bluish. It's definitely pastel green. But it is more like a cooler green than the pastel green I have on my eyes. The pastel green on my eyes looks more like electric in a way, or it's kind of like a more grassy kind of green pastel, while this one looks more like seafoam. I think that's a good way to describe it. This looks like a dirtier seafoam kind of green in pan. I don't know how she looks in swatch or on eye, but in pan that looks more like a dirty seafoam. Next shade. And that one did crack a little bit too. So all these are just cracking just like a little bit, trying to take them off and put them back in. They are very delicate. This shade is Kelp, which is a dirty green, for lack of a better word. It's definitely a dirty green. Like a mossy, not moss. I know what moss looks like. Moss is more vibrant. Maybe like a lighter swampy kind of green. And then I have the two darkest greens right here, which this actually is probably the darker version of Kelp, to be honest. This shade is Fenris. Oh my god, stick my whole goddamn hand in it. This one is definitely the darker sibling to Kelp if you look at them. They look very similar. This one just looks a little more vibrant, while this one's like a little bit darker, a little more brown, I want to say. A little more brown-green in that one. We're almost done. And the last one is this green, which is a true evergreen? No, not an evergreen. Evergreen is much darker. Gosh, I don't know. There's only so many ways I can describe color. This one is Sleeping Dragon. This is a pretty mid-tone green. It's a little bit dark, but not like an evergreen. It looks more like classic, maybe not necessarily a forest green. I feel like a forest green is also a darker green than this. I wouldn't say it's a dark green, but it's like a darker mid-tone green. Yeah, that works for me. Anywho, that's it. I will insert the swatches of all of these, hopefully in their color families, if I'm talented enough for that, here.
want to show you this real quick. I organized all of those Menagerie shades, and this is so satisfying. I went from like all the like pinks and reds kind of thing. I went to purples to like blues to like the teals, and from there went to the greens. This is so satisfying to me. Look at this. Is this not just super satisfying? It's so nice. Like this is just, it looks so nice.
I hope those swatches were helpful, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you ever bought anything from Menagerie, please tell me what you bought down below. Please let me know how you feel about them, because so far, I really like it. I don't know how it performs on the eye, but if you bought anything from Menagerie, I would love to hear your experiences from them, and I would also love to know what shades you got, what your favorite thing from them is, why you like them, or maybe why you don't like them. I would love to hear every and all sides to it. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Well, I have hair in my mouth. Oh, see you next time. Bye.